الحمد لله الحمد لله الذي ألف بالإسلام بين قلوب المؤمنين وأوجب الاجتهاد وحرم التفرق في كتابه المبين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله هدى من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد رسول الله خير داع إلى طريق القويم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين تهذبت نفوسهم وتهبت قلوبهم فكانوا سادة المنصورين. أما بعد، فيا عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي أولا بتقوى الله تعالى وطاعته. That is, all praise is due to Allah, who has united the hearts of the believer in Islam and has made it an obligation to remain united, and has made it forbidden to become separated in his clear book. I bear witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, who guides to the straight path whom he wills, and I bear witness that our leader Muhammad is his messenger and the best caller to the way that is straight. O Allah, send your prayers and your peace upon our leader Muhammad and upon his family and upon his companions, whose hearts were united and whose souls were educated, so that they became victorious leaders. And what follows thereafter, O believers of Allah, I advise you as well as I advise myself to first have the proper regard for Allah and thereafter be obedient to him. Dear believers, I greet you with the universal greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be with you. This week, dear believers, we want to look at the attribute of ash-shahid, which means the all-witnessing or the ever-witnessing. And we know from the hadith of Jabril, the story of where the angel, the prophet and his companions were sitting around and they were having a discussion, and a man walked in, and he had exceedingly white clothing and dark hair and dark beard, and he looked as though he hadn't been traveling. And they knew that in that time, and the time of the prophet, peace be upon him, it was the desert. And if you were wearing white clothes, the likelihood of your clothing becoming showing some sign of travel or some sign of dust getting on you was highly probable. But it says that this man came in and he had on exceedingly white clothes and a dark beard and dark hair, and no signs of travel were on him. And he approached the prophet and the companions, and he sat down next to the prophet, and he placed his hand on his leg, and he began to ask the prophet questions. Now the companions didn't know who this was, but he began to question the prophet. He said, tell me about faith in Iman. And he began to talk about that. Tell me about Islam. And the prophet, when the prophet would answer, he would say, yes, that's correct. And this threw off the companions, as we know, because here is the prophet of Allah and this stranger that walked in and began to question him, and then told the prophet that, yes, he was correct. And so this was a big deal for them. But he got to the final question, one of the final questions, and he asked, what is ihsan? And the prophet said, is to live as though you see Allah, but know that you don't see Allah, but know that he sees you. Know that Allah always sees you. So this is what the prophet was saying was ihsan. And a few more questions, and he left, and the companions asked who the prophet asked them, do you know who that was? And they were like, no. And he said, it's the angel Jabril coming to teach you your religion. But I want to go back to this idea of Allah being ash-shahid, the ever witnessing. And so this from this story of this concept of ihsan is living as though we see Allah, although we don't see him, but know that he sees you. This is Allah being a witness. This is Allah as a witness. Allah seeing everything that it is that we do. And many of us, we think we're slick. We think that we can hide things. We think that we can say things in a way that may imply certain things, but we didn't explicitly say it. Or maybe we didn't really do it, but we inferred it in a way, maybe through innuendo or body language. It inferred a thing, but we think it's a secret. We think that no one knows of the intentions of our heart. We think that no one sees who we truly are, but Allah is ash-shahid. Allah is the ever witnessing, the all witnessing. So he sees us. Allah sees us for who we are. Allah sees those shortcomings that we may have. Allah sees those bad habits that we have. But Allah also sees us as the good person that we may be. Allah sees us as we want to see ourselves sometimes, because maybe everyone else around us doesn't see you in that way. Maybe everyone doesn't know of all the good things that you have done, all the kindness that's in your heart. And maybe you express it. Maybe you turn to people on a daily basis and ask them to just recognize the goodness that you have in you. Give you just a chance to see the humanity that you have inside of you, but they don't see it. So this statement of live as though you see Allah, as although you do not see him, but know he sees you, is not, it's not an indictment. It's not saying that you're doing something bad and Allah sees you, so don't do something bad. It says that Allah sees you doing something good. Allah sees you when you were helping someone. Allah sees you when you're giving someone a ride. Allah sees you when you're giving money or charity to someone. Allah sees you. So it says don't go on and you don't have to live for the praise of others. You don't have to live for someone else to pat you on the back. You don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need them to confirm your actions. You don't need to post that on social media. You don't need to give all these stories of where you came from and how hard you worked to get there, because Allah is ash-shahid. Allah is the all witnessing. Allah sees you. Allah knows what you've gone through. Allah was there. Allah knows how you felt. Allah knows how you felt when you didn't get the accolades, you didn't get the attaboys or the pats on the back that you felt that you should have gotten, or maybe you should have rightfully gotten. Allah sees you. He was there. Allah is ash-shahid. We just have to remember that. We just have to not think so lowly of our Creator and think so high of ourselves or so high of those that we seek to impress. You know, in the military, we go for OERs and we got these all these ways, the NCOERs, all these ways that we're being measured, all these different bullet points that we want to put on here to say how good I am, because I need you to see me. I need you to rank me. I need you to validate me. I need you to lift me up, because I don't have the ability within myself to feel good about myself without you validating me. So I have to get a lot of degrees. I've got to lift a lot of weights, get real big and strong. I've got to do all these things because the person inside of me is so small and so weak, because I don't have my faith in my Creator. I don't truly understand my Creator is ash-shahid. Allah is all witnessing. Allah sees you. Allah sees where you came from. He put you there. He helped you along the way. Allah is ash-shahid, the ever witnessing. He's witnessed the metamorphosis that you've gone through. The pain of losing parents, the pain of losing loved ones, relationships, friends. Allah sees you. So he says, live as though you see Allah, although you do not see him, but know that he sees you. Allah is ash-shahid. Allah is ever witnessing. And he's a witness to all that you have done for yourself. أقول هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Dear believers, Allah is Ash-Shaheed. So Allah is a witness. Allah is a witness for you, and Allah is a witness of you. You know, in a lot of circles, in some circles, they talk about, can I get a witness? Or when it's time to plead a case, they want a witness to come forward. All these things, and what better witness? What better witness is there than Allah? What better one to know what you have done than Allah? And so we know the Quran is a mercy and a warning. It is a mercy to those who do good, a mercy to those who believe, a mercy to those who work righteousness, but a warning to those who do not. So then the question becomes, what is Allah going to witness from you? What is He going to see from you? Is He going to see this constant this idea, or this identity of tragedy, this identity of trauma, grievance? Is that what He's going to see from you? Is Allah going to witness you constantly complaining about what others have not done for you, what others have not said for you, what others have not, the positions that others have not put you in? Is that what Allah is going to witness? You have to control what Allah witnesses. So you have to do this by remembering that Allah is the one that has put you in the place that you're in now. Allah is the one who gives you the breath. Allah is the one who gives you the intellect. Allah is the one who gives you just the dream to be better. Allah did that for you before, and Allah will do it for you again. Because Allah is Ash-Shaheed. He's ever witnessing. He has witnessed all these changes. Allah has witnessed the others that have been in your same situation, and how they worked through it. And Allah witnessed you hearing about them. Allah witnessed you seeing them. Allah witnessed you learning from them. All these things Allah has witnessed. And then sometimes we have the audacity to turn around and complain about maybe we don't have the opportunity, but maybe we sit in a place of privilege. And maybe our complaint is, I don't have enough privilege. Maybe I need more privilege. Maybe my life isn't as good as I want it to be, but my life is great compared to some. But we live in this state of grievance. Woe is me. Why this? Why that? Why are all these things happening to me? But Allah is Ash-Shaheed. Allah is all witnessing. He witnessed your opportunities. He witnesses sometimes how our personalities may take us out of situations. When we begin to get full of ourselves, when we begin to become arrogant, and maybe we try and downplay it a little bit. Maybe we get around those who won't speak up or speak out against us, the way we have changed. But then we become this person who lives in grievance. Allah is Ash-Shaheed. Allah was a witness before you achieve whatever you have achieved, and Allah will be a witness as your life continues. Allah will be a witness to see, what do you do now with all that you have been given? And even if what you've been given you think is insignificant, even if what you've been given you think is not as much as the next person has, not as good as the next person has, Allah wants to see, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to turn away from Him? Are you going to be ungrateful for where you are now? Are you going to be ungrateful for life? Are you going to be ungrateful for this religion? Are you going to be ungrateful for the prophet? Are you going to be ungrateful for the Quran? Are you going to be ungrateful for the people? The people that may be around you that are there to lift you up, but also you're there to lift them up? Allah is a witness. Allah is Ash-Shaheed. So as we think of Allah as a witness, let's also know that others see you. Others see this identity of grievance. Others see this woe is me attitude. And they may not tell you, but it's there. They see it. The Prophet told the angel Jibril, live as though you see Allah, although you do not see him, but know that he sees you. So what does Allah see? What does Allah see in you? Does he see someone who is grateful? Or does he see someone that feels that Allah has not done enough for him or her? Allah is Ash-Shaheed. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين